Okay, so we're looking in 1.3, number 23, and I originally had a question, and maybe I can still get some clarification on why this is true, but I think I may have figured out why my answers were not making sense. So it says, show that if P then R and if Q then R is logically equivalent to P or Q, if P or Q then R. So I kind of made a table of all the possible values of P, Q, and R. So for instance, if P is Q, if P is true, Q is true, and R is true, this would be my line of what happens, and so forth. So if I'm looking for if P then R, so then if I look here, if P is true, then R is true, so then that's true. If P is true, then R is false, so that would make this statement false. And then if P is true and F is false, again, that would be false. And then if P is false, then R is false, it would be a true statement. If P is false and R is true, that's also a true statement. True, true, and true. So this is our if P then R. So then we would do the same thing for if Q then R. So if Q is true, then R is true is a true statement. If Q is true and R is false, that is a false statement. If Q is false and R is false is a true statement. And we can just go down and fill out our if Q then R. And part I got caught up on was in an if then statement. If Q is, the only time it's false is when the original is true. So if Q is true and R is false, that's a false statement, but anything else is considered true. So that's kind of was my original hang up for this. Okay, so then the next question is if P then R and if Q then R. So that would be if both of the statements are the same. So T, true and true, that means that this is true. False and false, that means this is true. False and true would make this then false because it's and, meaning they both need to be the same. So I've got false there and false here, and the rest of those are true. So that table made more sense to me. The next one is kind of where I struggled. If we look here, so first I'm looking at P or Q. So that means if P or Q is true, then the statement's true. So both of them are true. So I have true. Both of them are true, true. So here I just have one true, but that's enough because it's an or statement. Now here, since both of them are false, that means it's false, false. And then all I need is one true. So all of these statements would then be true because of it. So then I put R right here just so that it was easy to read left to right. So if I look here, again, the only time this would be false is when this statement is true and this one is false. So if I look here, true and true makes this true. True and false makes this false. True and false makes this false. False, false, true. False, true is true. True, true, false is false. True, true is true. And maybe I'm back to the same thing I was confused on from the beginning. So this is where I have the question. Why is this false? Why is this supposed to be true? Because if these were equivalent, then their truth tables would be the same. And I need to know why this one appears to be false, but in the statement above, okay, so this is where I made the mistake. When they're both false, right, if you're looking at a truth table for and, so like, let's just say I have P and Q, and I'm looking at a smaller truth table. This is where I got confused the first time. This is true, but then for an and, since these don't match, this is false, false, but this is also false because they're both false, so that's why. And that's what I read this in the book, but this is where I got confused. So actually this should be false, and then my two truth tables match, and then that will show that they're logically equivalent. So I think I have the right idea, but if anyone has any clarifying ideas, that would be great.